This is spring in Chicago, and this is the McCormick Place Convention Center. If it's April, this must be Comdex. Today we'll show you the newest PC hardware and software on display at Spring Comdex, from multimedia to Windows, from pen-based computers to color notebooks and more on this special edition of the Computer Chronicles.
Computer Chronicles has been made possible in part by PC Connection and Mac Connection, mail-order software and hardware peripherals for the PC and the Macintosh, and the Software Publishers Association, providers of educational materials to help manage software. Don't copy that floppy.
Welcome to the Computer Chronicles. I'm Stuart Chaffee, and with me this week is, well, just about everyone here at Spring Comdex. Who do we have here? Well, loads of exhibitors, as you can see. Here's Canon and others showing off their color printers. We have Leading Edge with new 486 desktops, color notebooks. Over here, Zenith showing off their new Z-Note color laptops, getting lots of attention. Right over here, we have IBM and OS2 and another building altogether. Tons of Windows applications in this Comdex, which is a battle of operating systems. WordPerfect is everywhere, telling you can run WordPerfect regardless of what operating system you use. There are over 900 exhibitors here, 70,000 people attending. It gets very difficult to separate the wheat from the chaff, the technology breakthrough from the overhyped vaporware. So to help get started, we'll talk to an expert and get the opinion of Stuart Alsop, computer industry analyst and editor.
Alsop is editor-in-chief of InfoWorld magazine. In his view, IBM's new multimedia platform was the headline at this Comdex.
Probably one of the more interesting things is IBM's announcement of a new platform, the Multimedia platform, where they started talking about having a certain level of machine, and that level of machine, you know, is capable of running OS2, which takes a lot of disk space and memory and so on and so forth. But more interesting is that the base level machine, the multimedia machine, is capable of running video. And so they have this software-only decompression of video that's very interesting, because everybody knows that Apple's been doing a big deal with the Macintosh and QuickTime and making a big deal out of video. But when you sit there in front of a Macintosh, you get this tiny little 2-inch screen that runs kind of slow, and it's kind of jerky if you don't get everything just right. IBM's now able to demonstrate a screen that's about twice as big, that's higher resolution and more colorful, and that's steady on a regular basis.
In portable computers, Alsop says the most interesting part of Comdex was the introduction of color notebooks.
Color probably is the big story here in the notebook category. It's still relatively expensive. It takes relatively more power, so it shortens the battery life, and it compromises the functionality of notebooks. But my feeling is that Zenith has really scored the best here. You know, there's always one company that kind of stands out at a show. I like their Z-Note 386 LC, which is a relatively lightweight, you know, well-powered machine that has a nice, crisp color display for only $5,000. And so I think they've scored the best.
The big headline out of Comdex was the introduction of Windows 3.1, but Alsop says that the PR spin was more than the facts could justify.
Windows 3.1 amounts to something more than a bug fix of Windows 3.0. I mean, I don't want to be negative about it, because it is a fine product, but it fixes holes in Windows rather than advancing things in a major way. So I don't think it's going to change, you know, the acceptance of Windows. It'll make it a little more acceptable in corporations, and people will have an easier time using it. You won't get unrecoverable application errors all the time, and so on and so forth, but it just enhances the experience as opposed to changing.
For the Computer Chronicles, I'm Janelle Stelson.
To get a visitor's attention at a trade show the size of Comdex is a difficult task, usually requiring some special gimmicks. At Comdex, exhibitors try anything, from fashion shows to stand-up comics. There were magicians, giant computers, giant dinosaurs, and raffles for free software. And some vendors hinted that their product could survive a disaster by barbecuing a computer. Certainly a new definition of multimedia. Multimedia is the buzzword in the computer industry this year, and indeed at this spring Comdex, from Intel's DVI to full-motion video boards, from television production packages to multimedia presentation programs, it's hard now to tell a PC from a Macintosh or an Amiga.
The multimedia showcase at Comdex was an impressive display of the technology that allows users to combine audio, video, photos, computer graphics, and text into one application. Multimedia applications have been around for years, but there hasn't been much of a market for them, at least not yet. But Microsoft's Rich Tong says this is the year of real multimedia products.
Well, you have to understand that technology evolves very gradually. And 3 or 4 years ago, the first hardware was coming out, and the first applications were just being developed. Now I think we're really at the start of a big wave. Multimedia is going to make it much easier to learn things. It's going to make it much easier to educate children, for instance. It's going to actually make it a lot more fun to use computers overall. And now we're seeing the first set of applications and hardware that can actually take advantage of multimedia. Probably the key thing there is the standardization of the hardware.
Cardinal Technologies' Harold Krall disagrees with Tong and says multimedia developers do not have to wait for the standardization of hardware.
I think the developers have a clear enough path to begin to develop serious software and hardware, and so do the users. I think the users can get such tremendous benefits out of this technology, paybacks as short as a few months in some cases, that they would be ill-advised to wait for. In some respects, the standards will evolve forever.
With marketable multimedia applications still slow to develop, Krall is looking for that one big application that will jumpstart the industry.
I might say years ago when RCA pioneered broadcasting, the thing that turned out to get radio going was a prize fight in Hackensack, New Jersey, which was not what the company had in mind. I mean, they were trying to sell cultural enrichment and so forth, that it was the prize fight that made radio the success it was. And we keep looking for a prize fight in this business.
While multimedia was a major theme of this Comdex show, two of the major players who have touted their computers as multimedia platforms were absent from this Comdex, Apple and Commodore. But IBM, not well known in the past for its multimedia commitment, changed the name to Ultimedia and used the technology to demonstrate OS/2 version 2. IBM also demonstrated new multimedia touchscreen terminals to help video customers choose films. The terminal offers a description of the movie, a composite of critics' reviews, and you can watch a 30-second preview, much like the ones shown before feature films in movie theaters. Currently, the IBM technology is being used in several Blockbuster video stores in Boca Raton, Florida. Plans are underway for more than 3,000 Blockbuster stores nationwide to use the new multimedia technology. Gold Disc demonstrated a software package called Animation Works Interactive that is a new, easy-to-use multimedia authoring tool. With Animation Works, any Windows user can create multimedia presentations. Animation Works Interactive lets you combine and sequence moving text, graphics, and video with sound and push-button interactivity on your PC. A free runtime player module allows other users to play your presentations without having to own the whole program. Animation Works Interactive is selling for less than $500. If you want to do professional-looking video editing on your PC, Matrox Electronic Systems from Canada demonstrated their Matrox Studio. It's a video post-production system on 5 boards which fit into an ESA PC. The Matrox Studio includes the Matrox Personal Producer application software. It's an ABC roll system that allows video effects and transitions on up to 5 layers of video and graphics at once. The price for the Matrox Studio is not cheap. It costs $15,000, but this is still a fraction of what it would cost to put together a similar editing system at a traditional video production house. One of the biggest booths at the Multimedia Showcase portion of Comdex belonged to Cardinal Technologies, which was exhibiting along with its Japanese partner Fuji. Cardinal is best known for its modems, but here at Comdex, they were emphasizing their new multimedia technology. The Cardinal Snap Plus board is a simple add-on for your PC that turns it into a video machine with super VGA graphics. Demonstrated here with Mathematicus Tempora software, the Snap Plus card lets Windows users view, capture, edit, and record video stills in your PC from any source format. The Cardinal board also includes a Genlock that syncs external video to your system.
We're Genlocked, and we're also able to synthesize audio inside the computer, which can then be recorded outside in a conventional analog recording system. So we have a full bidirectional bridge of anything in audio and video in and out of the computer, and this is we can do this at affordable cost.
The Snap Plus board sells for less than $1,300. Cardinal and Fuji also demonstrated two other new multimedia products that let you use a digital still camera to input color photos into a PC application. Up until now, the giant file size of color photos made this difficult, but Cardinal has solved the problem using a new file compression technology.
One of the special tricks is called image compression. We have technology that compresses the images up to 24:1 today, and in the future much more. But all of this has been done in hardware and software, and the user doesn't need to worry about how this is done.
The Compix compression decompression adapter compresses the video image 20:1. That lets you fit color images on a single hard drive. This specialized image memory card drive also lets you store the color image as a file, which can then be instantly sent online to another PC anywhere in the world. Next up, new color notebook computers on this Comdex special.
We eat on the road, we make phone calls from our car, we send faxes from airports. It's no wonder we all want one of these. We want to be able to compute while we're on the road also. It's hard to find anyone these days who isn't in the market for a new notebook computer. What's new in portable computing here at this spring Comdex? Well, there is pen-based input, mini notebooks, and color, color, color.
The crowd pleaser in color laptop computers was this Z-Note 325 LC from Zenith. It's a 386 PC that runs at 25 megahertz. Despite all its features, the Z-Note laptop weighs only 6.5 pounds. It includes a 120 megabyte hard drive and 4 megs of RAM. The Active Matrix VGA display is bright and easy to see. The Z-Note series of notebook PCs from Zenith features two other innovations. To simplify connecting your laptop to desktop peripherals, Zenith introduced the ReadyDesk Port Replicator. At only $150, it's a cost-effective alternative to traditional docking systems. The Z-Note portables also incorporate an Intel chip that offers built-in LAN capability. Pre-configured client shells are installed on the hard drive to provide plug-and-play networking. Toshiba opted for speed over design innovation. It unveiled its new 486 color laptop. The T4400 SXC notebook runs at 25 megahertz. The display is an Active Matrix Super VGA screen with 640 by 480 resolution. Toshiba says its color notebook will get 3 hours on a battery, and that in itself is quite an achievement.
The key obstacles in delivering this technology to the marketplace were power consumption. The 486 architecture is a fairly power-intensive architecture compared to the 386 architecture of current state-of-the-art notebooks. The other key performance issue was the backlighting of the screen. Color screens use almost 3 times as much power as the non-color screens. So the size of the battery turns out to be about 1/3 of the weight of the machine. So we've reduced the size of everything else to maintain the notebook size of the machine while maintaining battery life.
But new technology comes at a price. Both the Zenith and the Toshiba color notebooks list at over $7,000. At that price, the obvious question is, why do you need a color laptop?
The driving factor that you'll see for color on portables is technology like Windows 3.1 that's introduced here at the show as shipping. A graphical user interface like Windows 3.1 is much easier to use in color. The other thing that we see it used for a lot is presentation work. Making color presentations is a major use for the 4400 based on our early customers.
If you're still not convinced you need a color portable, how about a pen-based computer? Several companies are betting you won't want to fumble with a keyboard when you can point and draw directly onto the computer screen. The availability of the new Windows 3.1 for pen computing has brought new software applications to the pen-based portables. Calcomp showed off its new display pad technology, which uses electromagnetic sensors to detect pen pressure and angle. This pad's sensitivity makes it a good computer for artists, as well as a reliable platform for signature verification. Information written on the display pad can be simultaneously displayed on a standard PC monitor. The Travelite Pen Portable from DFM goes one step further and provides digital audio record and playback capability. Here it's demonstrated for use by hospital personnel to verbally record patient information in addition to inputting data with a pen directly onto the screen. Wacom's LCD integrated tablet has a unique feature, a cordless pen. It also beats the competition on cost with a starting price of $1,800. If ruggedness and durability are what you want, Microslate demonstrated how its notebook computer can take a licking and still keep on ticking. Two bodybuilders took turns standing on the Microslate Datalite 400 and throwing it across the floor. And yes, this first ever 486 pen-based computer was still working. ABC Computer from Hong Kong carved out a new category of notebook computer, smaller than a laptop, but bigger than a palm top. The biggest feature may be a near normal size keyboard in this tiny unit. And Librex introduced the first user configurable notebook computer. The Librex T386SX features removable hard drives and a card slot for both memory and I/O peripherals. A power-on battery feature also lets you change batteries without shutting down the computer in the middle of your work. The notebook's outer surface is made of a special non-slip material to help you keep a grip on it while removing its components. IBM also showed off a new pen notebook, but Big Blue's attention was not on portable computers. It was on operating systems. The OS2 versus Windows story is next.
Just 2 years ago at Comdex, you would hardly find anyone running Windows. But at Spring Comdex 92, nearly half the show is devoted to nothing but Windows and Windows applications. And where you don't find Windows, you see IBM's new OS2 bragging that it will run Windows, or HP's new Wave saying it will run Windows, and a stream of new Windows add-ons, add-ins, and enhancements.
Comdex had never seen so much attention paid to operating systems, those invisible engines that run inside a computer. But at this Comdex, it was an operating system war, with IBM pitted against Microsoft.
Some people are seeing it as a war, and some people in the press are positioning it as a war. I think that there's a decision that people are going to make in terms of the operating environment that they're going to run in. But in terms of applications, there's no reason you can't run your Microsoft Windows applications on top of OS 2.2.0. We'll run them better, and that's what we're here to show. So, in terms of the Deep Pockets battle, we have a premier operating system here, a top-notch product, and we're marketing it as such. And we think that just based on the interest we've been having here, that the market is going to really respond to OS 2.2.0.
But Microsoft sees it another way. They say OS 2 requires more computer power than most users have, and that Windows is the platform of choice for the typical 386 user.
We think Windows is very well designed for that. That's exactly our design point. Now, there are other companies in the market, from companies that make workstations using Unix, all kinds of different things. IBM has a number of product offerings that are also trying to work in the market and find a base of customers. And we just think that for other companies to be successful, they're going to have to fit the same kind of market requirements if they want to become a standard operating system. And that is, you need to run on computers that people own today, 2 to 4 megabyte 386s.
IBM had the advantage of being in the unusual role of underdog at this Comdex, and editor Stuart Alsop says that has helped Big Blue win some support.
The battle has really been, since they stopped being friends a couple of years ago, the battle's really been for IBM to find a way to compete in a marketplace that it's never really understood, that it's never taken to heart. And so the struggle over the past year with OS 2.0 has been for IBM to understand how you develop personal computer software, how you test it, how you deal with your customers. And so the remarkable thing, and probably the surprising thing at this particular show, has been the customer reaction to OS 2. You run around and you kind of overhear people watching the demos, and you can kind of get an undercurrent of, gee, it looks like IBM is beginning to understand what it's doing.
IBM tried to get users to fall in love with OS2 by setting up a free test drive center at Comdex where you could sit down and play with OS2 version 2. Generally, the comments were favorable if you had enough computing power to support OS2. Microsoft almost upstaged its own product introduction by offering sneak previews of the next generation of Windows, Windows 3.2, also known as Windows NT for new technology. The soon-to-be-released Windows upgrade supports full 32-bit computing, as does IBM's current version of OS2. In fact, several developers were demonstrating their Windows NT applications at the same time Microsoft was pushing 3.1. There were several innovative new products here designed specifically for Windows, among them 2 new software packages that let you run your PC under Windows by using a fax machine as an input device. Xerox demonstrated Paperworks, a program that lets you design sheets of paper with special hash marks that can be read by a fax machine and understood by your computer. The Paperworks forms can be slipped into any fax machine anywhere, and they can instruct your PC to store, send, or retrieve any data that's on your hard drive. Cardiff Software introduced a slightly different fax input system called Teleform. What the Cardiff system lets you do is enter data through a fax machine into a computer database, and the software automatically turns the graphic images of the fax machine into real data files, which can then be manipulated in a database software program. In addition to new Windows applications, there were also new software products aimed at helping Windows users. Ziff's on-site support database is a CD-ROM with technical support information on Windows, DOS, and a long list of PC applications. It's updated monthly for subscribers. It includes technical notes by software publishers. An annual subscription is about $1,300. Kyocera got lots of attention with its new EcoSys printer for the environmentally conscious. The toner powder is dropped in by a non-polluting cartridge that fits over the toner bin, and the cartridge itself can then be buried or incinerated without causing any pollution. In addition to its environmental appeal, the new Kyocera laser printer also saves you money. Kyocera says the price per page is 75% less than with other laser printers, less than a penny per page because of the recyclable toner cartridge. Ergonomics was the big sidebar story at Comdex. American Optical showed off its True Vision Technica eyeglasses, otherwise known as the computer glasses. The glasses are designed to allow users who wear bifocals to easily focus on the computer screen and on your papers without having to peer over frames or bifocal lines. Finally, if you're worried about a bad back or carpal tunnel syndrome from too much time at the computer, Forminco showed off this ergonomically designed leather computer chair. The chair and desk are designed to help you avoid repetitive strain injuries, keep you productive, and keep you coming back for more hardware and software.
Roaming the aisles at Comdex is in some ways like venturing into a high-tech Alice in Wonderland, where this wonderful computer industry has somehow managed to convince us that obsolescence is a feature. For it seems the theme at every new Comdex is that everything we just saw at the last Comdex 6 months ago is now outdated and needs to be fixed. In the auto industry, that's called a recall, and they pay to fix it. In the computer industry, it's called an upgrade, and we pay to fix it. At Spring Comdex in Chicago, I'm Stuart Chaffee for the Computer Chronicles.
In the random access file this week, this is a special summer edition with the focus on software. Here are last week's best-selling software titles for the Mac according to Mac Connection. Symantec Corporation's Norton Utilities for Mac occupies the #1 spot, and rounding out the top 10 are Intuit's Quicken for the Mac and Microsoft's Word 5.0 version upgrade. Next up, Paul Schindler in our summer software review.
Even with a map, I get lost. Windows makes it easier to get lost on a PC, and Rooms for Windows helps you find your way. Your desktop becomes a series of rooms, each organized around a task. All rooms share the contents of the overlay room. If we enter a room, we can quickly see what applications are available here. Rooms opens programs at the same size and location every time, unlike Windows itself. You can always get back to the room you came from by using the back door. Notice the little man waving. You always know where your applications are with Rooms for Windows, a mere $50 from Xerox in Rochester, New York. For the Computer Chronicles, I'm Paul Schindler.
That's That's it for this week's Computer Chronicles. I'm Janelle Stelson.
Computer Chronicles has been made possible in part by PC Connection and Mac Connection, mail order software and hardware peripherals for the PC and the Macintosh, and the Software Publishers Association, providers of educational materials to help manage software. Don't copy that floppy.
Videocassette copies of this program are available. Computer Chronicles also publishes a companion newsletter containing details on products demonstrated, plus background information on program topics. To order a videocassette or a subscription to the newsletter, call 1-800-366-9484 or write Computer Chronicles. Please specify program subject for tapes. All orders include a free software program for auditing software use.